Let's talk a little bit more about this story with former Pentagon official Michael Maloof. Michael, is the United States treading in somewhat dangerous waters in making this type of essential diplomatic declaration as to who another country should have representing them in Washington?
Oh, absolutely. Frankly, they can't do it. I mean, there's no precedent that I can recall where a country has decided who will be another country's representative. And it just doesn't happen. What we're seeing here is a diplomatic posturing, a diplomatic dance, if you will, that in which the United States is carrying on in a way that is not normally allowed or in keeping with diplomatic norms.
Is it short-sighted from the standpoint of whatever we do today to Venezuela, somebody in the future might want to point to and then say, well, you've done that before, so we've decided now, as I mentioned in my open. Yeah. Somebody in Russia or China might say, well, look, Trump wasn't elected by plurality of the American people. There's people who don't like him there as well. We're not going to accept the ambassador of Donald Trump. We want Obama's guy back in there and put him in. Well,
your examples are a little extreme, but they do. But in international law, it sets precedent. Anything like this could set a potential precedent, and especially if the United States did it, then everybody else can point and say, look, the United States did it, it must be okay. But, you know, just like the example that was in the lead-up, we didn't appoint somebody to be the Syrian ambassador in the United States once we broke diplomatic relations with Syria. There was nobody. And as a consequence, Pompeo can't do this either, and from a legal standpoint. Now, you know, the international law is only as strong as the countries that abide by it. And if you got 50 other countries that are recognizing Guaido over Maduro, that is in effect setting up a de facto recognition and also another level of diplomatic approach that heretofore has not been done.
But unfortunately, as our colleague over at the Associated Press has pointed out, there are 180-some countries in the United Nations. So claiming 50 of them doesn't even give you half.
That's true. That's true.
So to say we got 50 companies to agree, 50 countries to agree with us, therefore we're going to do what we want to do to a sovereign country, you know, it may not wash, is what I'm saying.
No, it's not going to wash, even though those 50 countries represent some of the biggies in the world, absent China and Russia. But it still is not going to be acceptable in international relations on a regular basis. It just cannot be.
Michael Maloof, as usual, it's always a pleasure to be able to share your wisdom, or to receive your wisdom, I should say. Thanks again, my friend. We'll look forward to seeing you again. I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm also live every night at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV and Dish and cable and satellite, the RT app, and Pluto TV. I'll see you there.